my area of research? Do I have the entire thing which I can, write about this particular thing, or do I need a collaborator? Do I have all the facilities available, or do we need to, go with some other institute? So these days, if you want to write a research grant, don't think that you are the only one who can solve the problem. Make your team, build your team, and team is the one, who can, entire team can solve the problem, not only one person or one group like this. So we all have to think in this direction before we start thinking writing a grant. Then you need to think how overall, don't general proposal you need to prepare, who can and you need to make the budget for that. Team, build your team, and then you see that where are the possibilities. So if I ask right now that what are the government funding agencies, or what are the CSR, so we all have to who give the funding. So corporate social responsibilities, some of the industries, they give the funds. So we need to list down those things. If you list it, then you will see that where I find it. Most of the funding agencies, they have called for proposals, and they have called for proposals in the current problems. But do we fit in that? So, or we have to go for general kind of this thing. So we need to identify ourselves what I can do, whether I can particularly work in translational research area, or I can do basic research. So if you want to go to basic research, then we have SERB, and then we have DST. We have some of the things. But if you want to go for translational research for biomedical sciences, then we go for DBT, then we go for ICMR, we go for DRDO, we go for DAE. So those sort of things you can think. CSIR also, give the funds for uh, general in nature. So but these days, all funding agencies, whatever, they are investing in you, they want the output. So make sure when you have the proposal in your mind, think what are the output, what you are going to deliver. So before writing the proposal, you should think that, no, that what is my hypothesis, where my hypothesis is going to be. So these questions first should come in our mind. And if you have that, then if you can go to the funding agency, you can write a letter to them. You can ask that whether, I have this particular area. You can write to the particular thing that, no, I want to do this specific proposal. If you have that thing in mind, you can just submit the inquiry whether, that particular proposal can be submitted. If there is a call for proposal and you feel that it can be done, you can submit that thing. And you know that for call for proposals there are deadlines. Once you have this thing, those funding agencies will review the proposal first. If they feel that preliminary level that, no, this proposal is good, then they will send it to all the experts. They will send it to 3-4 experts, and if they find they get the good uh, remark from them, they evaluate and they give points for that, whether this particular grant, for example, the 10 points are given out of 10 where you deserve. So whether you can get 8 points or you can get 9 points, then it's good grant, excellent grant. But if you get less than 5 points, then you have to think that, no, whether then funding agency has to think that, no, whether we can do it or not. Then they have the internal meetings where they discuss those proposals, what sort of evaluation points this particular PI has received from various these experts. Then they try to think that whether it can be done or not, and then on the basis of that, you get the award letter. If it is successful, you get the award, otherwise you get the regret. So you need to see that whether we are getting in which direction. You try to send your grant and see that even if first time you get declined, you should not worry about it. You should think and you should ask, if they have not given, what was the problem in my proposal. Most of the time these days, funding agencies, they expect from you that you have done preliminary research work and you have published some papers in that particular area. If you don't have any earlier publications, they consider that, no, you don't have any uh, particular, you are not capable of doing this thing. So your expertise is not in this direction. So these things you have to see if you want to start your career in this area as a scientist or as a professor. Then you may start with your senior colleague working in this direction, and then first you tell that no, let's work together and let's publish some preliminary work. And once you have that preliminary work published, then you write a proposal. It becomes much easier to get funding for that particular proposal. So if you get accepted, you carry out the proposal, and then after that you see that no, annually we need to send the all the report, and on the basis of your annual progress, they would fund your if it's 3 years project for 3 years, if it's a 5 years project, they will give for 5 years. So make sure this particular thing comes in this direction, that in each and every step has been taken meticulously. You have written grant meticulously, you have gone through this process, and with all these things you discover, then you try to gather the all the results, analyze your results, then publish that results or patent your work. And if you feel that now it is patented, you share that thing with your funding agency. And if you feel that your work was whatever you have uh, you know uh, you have mentioned in your research proposal and it was done, then funding agency will be very happy to give you more projects. So this is the cycle. Once you get the proposal, and if you are a successful person, then there will be high chance that you can get the next funding. So we need to just think about it. So before we apply for grant, what are the things what we should do? So if someone wants to give you the money, so they will look for that, no, what is his long-term goals? What is his institute's long-term goal? What is their short-term goal? So you also think in that direction, that no, my funding agency would look into this direction. So you start with what would be the result, what would be the product out of it. So think that thing in your mind, identify that thing, and create comprehensive plan accordingly what proposal you want to submit. Then you need to do the homework for what are the objectives of the project, because when experts, they would look at your proposal, the first thing they would see the brief summary of your proposal and objectives. They will not go through the entire thing. Then they will see what are the deliverable, what will be the outcomes. So if they see the outcomes, objectives are good, then most of the time they give you good grade. If you don't write this thing properly, if you copy and paste, that people can easily find out that no, this has not been done properly. So they will look at it. Does the proposal address a well formulated problem, or is it a research problem, or just a routine application of a known technique? For example, if you want to do we have the UV vis spectrophotometer, and we say that no, we want to just use the application of this technique. They will not give this thing. You need to think the problem, as I discussed in the beginning. We need to have the problem of these days. For example, we have water problem. Most of the places we don't have the pure water. People are having that contaminated water. Contaminated water is causing problem. Can we make a cheap filters for villagers, and then whether those filters, each and every household can have that thing. But then it requires entire research for this particular thing. You require microbiology, you require biochemistry, you require even biosensor, this bioelectronics. So it's a combinations of many fields. Then you will reach up to the biofilter. So think about it and then plan that. So solve the problem. Don't just try to utilize some instrument and give the output of that. Nobody wants to give the money for that. Nobody wants to see that. No, okay, they have used this. It's a routine thing. If you use some instrument, any kind of instrument, and you get some data and you talk about that, no, I will characterize this thing. Characterization grants are long back, people stopped giving. Now people give problem based grant. If you find out important problem, then and you have the solution for that, and uh, funding agencies, people, they feel that no, this they can provide the solution. no one can stop that particular proposal. So make sure you have an important problem whose solution will have some useful product. So then you need to see that what is the output in terms of technology readiness level. This is also people started thinking whether it's TRL1, TRL2 up to TRL10, where you are. You correctly mention that I can do this much. Don't exaggerate your product or your deliverable. If you exaggerate and you are not able to solve that problem, then in future you will not get the grant. So make sure whatever you are proposing in that, you are able to deliver that. So then few questions like what are the current trends, in which particular area grants are being given, what are the current limitations and restrictions, what subject areas awards are being funded these days. Then you need to see who are the decision makers, whether it's in private funding or they are government funding. What is the review process, how they do this thing. If they are CSR, corporate social responsibility, then private funding review it differently. If it's a government funding, they review it differently. So you need to think who is the funder for you. So is the research proposal filling a gap in the existing body of research or adding novel or original knowledge? That's like for basic science. If you have that, either one of them, then you are going to get for sure your project will be funded. Now, there are few points which you need to remember. Funding bodies look for good researchers. Think of them as potential investor in you and your ideas, because they are not either, even if it's government funding, it's taxpayers money. You can't waste that money. We need to think that what we are giving back. If you are getting 50 lakhs rupees project, can in long term government earn from 50 lakhs 500 crores? So you think that, then only they will invest. You need to think big, that now if my idea is sellable, so tomorrow they will be using this idea. So you must sell your idea and be enthusiastic about the work. If they ask you to present, you give a great presentation that no, I can, this is the problem, I can solve this problem, I can give this thing, and you be truthful about your work. Don't exaggerate. You just say that no, up to here I can do it. But if I'm given it this particular grant, then in further I will progress more. So up to 3 years, please give me up to this much, and then I will try to do it better in next time. So be clear about your work, and then you remember that you are not begging, you are telling the correct thing. You are not trying to say, okay sir, please give me. No, you should tell that no, this is my work, this I know, and I will do it. So you should be strong enough, polite way, but you should not beg. You should try to tell this, these are my strength. And using my strength, I have collaborated with different people. And then if they feel that no, you have a good team, strong team, and you have good strength, they will give you the money. All right. So how to think about research proposal. It should describe how you will investigate. All right. So why it is important, how you will conduct your research. It's like a blueprint of building plan. So before the construction starts. So the same thing here you have to see in the research proposal, both scientific science or any kind of engineering proposal. So a good research proposal is based on scientific fact. Like if you have identify your research topic, you do brainstorming, you take notes, you sketch and outline, you develop the content, then you proofread this. So this is how you need to think about it. And components of the research proposal are how the most of the funding agencies have formulated their form. How, what are the things they expect from you? They want origin, they want how the idea was conceived, that is origin. you know you should tell that no, what is your idea and how it was conceived, that is written in origin. Objectives, what are the objectives, how many objectives you are writing, and that objectives defines your proposal whether you will get it or not. If your objective is good, you will get the your proposal funded. Then justification that what you are doing, is it justified or not. Then you write about introduction. What we write in the introduction, in the most of the time we write, when you write even paper or you write a grant, we write that what has been done so far and what is lagging behind. So where is the gap? You need to solve that gap. So in paper writing as well as in grant writing, you need to make sure after giving the introduction about your research proposal with reference, this has been done. Now there is a gap here. A background and review of literature. So they ask nationally and internationally review of literature. So what is national level and international level work has been done in related areas. Hope you are not repeating the same thing. So make sure you update that carefully, that other people have not done this sort of the same work. Not this sort of work is fine, but not same work. So exactly same work if other people are doing in some other institute, they will not fund your this thing proposal. Methodology. What are the methods? You give the details of that thing. If you give the methods, then they will know that no, you are capable of running this proposal in your institute, in your laboratory. Time frame and work schedule. You need to tell what should be the time frame for each and every objective. Personnel needed, whether you have already available students who will be doing PhD and they can do the work, or you need research scholars, or you need some other staff, or you need postdoctoral fellows. So you need to mention that what sort of research is that. What are the facilities needed? How many facilities you have in house? What particular facilities you need it? Then budget comes, then we make sure whatever you are telling about budget, you need to tell clearly that why you need this, why you need this personnel, you need facilities, instrument, you need contingency, you need for consumable, you need for travel. So that budget justify that. All right, so what would be the outcome and what could be the limitations? So all these things, so all these 12 points, each and every funding agencies in some or other form, they ask these things. So this is the form you should prepare all the time. All right, so first let's talk about the aims and objective. The aim of a research proposal should give a clear indication of your proposal, research approach, or key question. So if you know that the objectives are specific, achievable, and measurable, hope you have not written too many objectives in that. Some people write even one objective, but if it is one objective and it's clearly stated, then that's enough. If there is more than one objective, then the same can be presented in that order, which will be the first part you will be doing. What would be the second part? What would be the third part? But there should not be more than 5 objectives. 3 to 4 objectives are good enough. Uh, but you should not write too many objectives. Then people will say that no, he is thinking too much. All right. So introduction, as I said, that it should help the reader to acquaint with the topic. Introduction should be short, about 1 or 2 pages. The problem should be stated in such a way that it's important and relevant to the, who reads it, relevant to the work. Deficiencies, whatever the deficiencies you should mention in this, and what are the gap, what is the knowledge gap you should mention. Problem statement is what is the originality of your research. Indicate the what is the central focus of your study, what that you should mention, and you should mention the significance. What are the benefits? What would happen if they give us this research grant? So these things you need to mention. A background, as I said earlier also, this section reflects your extensive review of literature, what is already known about this particular research, and you should know that this particular research is whatever we are writing in this, whatever people have published in background, this is easily readable, not in the, exactly you copy and paste from there. It helps the investigator to gain good knowledge, because when you do this review of literature, for your background also become strong. You know that what sort of work has been done. It also help investigator to have insight on different methodologies, because when they publish papers, they write all methods in that, so you know that how they have done this thing. So methodology particularly is given that know how to do each and every experiment. You design the experiment and you see that what is how you will do that, all the procedures. So you need to mention that, and you should also mention that no, your hypothesis, whatever you are telling, that whether it's achievable or it's not achievable, how you will do that. So that would depend on your how you have designed your study research. So this is what you need to do. Then facilities and investigator. The proposal should also include the important facilities which are required. What are the studies available for you? Like no, as mentioned here, computers, laboratory equipment, any other thing you want in this. So also include the whether who are the principal investigators and co-PIs and their qualifications, research experiences with publications, which will definitely support your proposal. Then proposal may must include the role of each and every investigator. You should mention that this is this section of the work, this part of the work the PI will be doing. This particular which objective the co-PI will be doing. If you have more than co-PI, more than one investigator or more than one co-investigator, so you should define each and everybody's role in that. Otherwise, people will feel that no, this has been done just to add or include some OPIs. So if you when you write the budget, make sure that no, the budget is being checked properly, and as per the funding agency, there are there are particular areas where you have to write total cost justification about each and every equipment, why you want equipment, why you need this particular material, why you need power, why you need travel cost. So each and everything you need to mention, because if you have already research student in your laboratory and or research assistants, some CSR laboratories they have the research assistants, so they will not get this if somebody asks again some more research assistants. So you need to think, if you have PhD students and you want some senior person, you say that I need a RA, research associate. Or if you have PhD students but no research, no technical assistant is in your lab, then you can ask research assistant that no, the research assistant can help my PhD student because they have to do PhD, but some part, some culinary work they can do or technical help they can provide, so that no, they will not waste entire time. Travel cost. Do you need to go somewhere to collect your data? Yes, we need to go most of the time for data collection. We need to also go for present our work, what work we are doing. Then only people will know about us. Then, so these things you go to conference, national conference. So they will, most of the funding agencies, national level government funding agencies, they don't give funds for in the research grant for international presentation for conference. So for that there is a separate area where you write for international conference symposia attended. So that also been given. If you publish some work, then only they will give you that particular funds. And what is the significance of your study? You need to mention that. What will it contribute to the existing research? What implications your finding may be? Who will benefit from it? So all these things you need to discuss. Few important things like finding a mentor, sponsor, choosing a project, developing research questions, writing the proposal. These are the very important things. Meet with mentor to discuss their previous work and their research projects. Like when you start your research career, make sure you have some senior person who can help you to write a proposal. That person can be just your mentor. You don't have to keep him as your investigator. You just need somebody who is mentoring you. So ask about his availability and ask about, like, what are the, who could be the collaborators. People will be happy to collaborate if they feel that, no, this grant looks good, idea is good, this person has a good idea, it's a feasible idea, but he doesn't have good facilities. Maybe he doesn't have experience of doing all the work. They will be happy to help you. So you can write emails to different institute. You can write in your own institute. So like this. So uh, then we need to see the time frame and work schedule. So as I said, like, you need to read, talk about each and every objective and how much time frame will be taken. So make sure that all the things, research, design, planning. First of all, you mentioned that, no, you will do background research review. That should not be more than few months. Then you say that, no, research, design and planning, that also. Then data collection and preparation, data analysis, writing, all these things should be done in a proper way within 3 months. About each objective, which objective I will do in first year, which objective I will do in second year, which objective I will do in third year. So like this. And if these research objectives are feasible, you need to tell that, no, why they are feasible, or you need to see that yourself, that, no, whether these questions are novel, interesting, useful, the scope of study is well focused, and is it ethical to ask these research questions? Because sometimes people try to do the research which already has been